Good morning to our guys in studio, and of course, good morning to all our viewers nationwide and online. I'm Ryan McCool, and we are broadcasting from the Assembly Legislature here in beautiful Tobago. This is the place where we had our young debaters just wooing the chamber, I would say. And with me, I have one of those persons who knows all about that Tobago Day youth debate. I have with me Mr. Bobby Andrews, the planning coordinator from the Office of the Chief Secretary. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. And how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
It was a nice day today.
Yes. So first of all, let me just congratulate you and all others on another successful year and another youth debate where the youngsters really had a chance to, experience what the members of the House really go through. So if you could just explain to the viewers, what was your role in this year's debate?
Okay, thank you. Well, this year my role was really just to bring some content to the young debaters for them to understand the housing concepts, the principles behind it, and how housing and home ownership impacts all aspects of the society, from education all the way to community development, infrastructure, and economic development, as a matter of fact, So it's really to add the content to allow them to then now go out into the different areas, for and against, with the assistance of the other trainers.
No, you see the ease at which he just rattled that off. He's one of the debate coaches, and of course, it's a complex matter, and a lot of data and information, of course, has to be provided in order to present to the House, as you know. So Mr. Andrews is one of that. And looking at the debate itself, we had it last week. How did you feel about it, seeing your trainees on the floor around the horseshoe?
Yes, well, I famously called them this morning my disciples because, housing is not an area of specialization that you find floating around all over the place.
Correct.
It's one of the little areas that are kind of gray areas because, everyone is already living somewhere, barring the homeless. And, so sometimes we cannot take it for granted. I mean, us growing up as young children, no matter what conditions we lived in, we had a place.
Yeah.
And we only started to think about it when we were about to get married or form our new house or leave
Moving
home.
on the next stage in life, yeah.
But, being a planner, you realize, like everything else, you have to plan. And the earlier persons plan for it, it would be better for them. And I just got glad to have the opportunity to expose them to it and what they need to do. Because there are really just two pathways. It's either you do well in school and get a good job, or you do well in business and do well at it. So education and entrepreneurship are really the two pillars. And I was able to expose them to that.
Do you think that they were able to fully grasp or understand the whole technicalities and the intricacies that involve housing?
I think they understood it quite well. I mean, I looked on very, very much pleased with the excitement and the enthusiasm with which they discussed the issues. I am aware that many of them took it seriously, and I think it would be able to help them in other areas of their education, the kind of work that they had to put in, the research that they had to put in, and the delivery that they had to do. If they just keep that discipline, I think it would augur well for them in their education, whichever section they choose to go to. Yes.
Yeah. I think that it also gave them a nice foundation to actually go into something that they may have forcefully thought about later down the road when you encounter it. But now, you would have given them a chance to prepare and plan, which we know is the keys to success.
Yes.
So I want to just thank you, Mr. Andrews, and all the rest of facilitators for a wonderful job that you all did. And yeah, I hope to see you all do more in the future, yeah?
Right, all the way. Look at that.
Now it's time to meet our young dignitaries who were at the horseshoe last Thursday, yeah? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And how are you all doing this morning?
Great.
Oh, you all sound so lovely and so well-mannered. I love the smiles, I must say. All right? So let's get straight into the questions, all right? Let me just ask, what advice would you give to someone who is preparing for their first debate and going to face the horseshoe? What would you give?
One advice I would give someone who's debating for the first time is to have an open mind. Remember the motion at hand. Also to create bonds so that on the day if you feel like you suffer with nervousness and anxiety, you could have somebody there to help you emotionally. Another thing I would recommend to someone is to project a lot when executing your presentation. Thank you.
My advice to them would be understand the emotion at hand. Make sure the emotion is a part of you, right? So put it in your situation. Also, in your delivery, be confident. Know what you are talking about. Have statistics to back up whatever you're speaking about, and just have fun.
Let's keep it going. What was the most impactful memory of the debate or moment of the debate or training sessions for you?
I would say the most impactful part was actually getting to share our opinions with the public and the powers that are at be. So I'm elated that the THA had this initiative to actually get our voices out there and get our voices heard, right? We all know that we do have a housing affordability crisis in Tobago, and that is due to the rapid growth rate of Tobagonians. So Tobago has twice a larger or faster growth rate than Trinidad, yet the THA was only allocated $2 million, while Trinidad was allocated $192 million, even though Tobago has a higher housing demand. So we need to look at issues as this.
So let me ask, given looking back at this whole experience, is there anything that you think that you'd probably take away from this whole debate that you think that you could apply to your livelihoods, your lives on a daily
Well,
basis?
one thing I would take away is the fact that everything must have a backing. You can't provide something without having a proper backing. Like in a debate, when you bring forward statistics and you don't show where you get it from, it most time can just be a lie and not truthful. So it's a good thing to get your backing to be able to prove your point in life.
And you're the youngest debater here, right? Just take note, folks, yeah?
A way that this debate would have impacted me would have been to always have an open air, and everyone has a say, not just you. I'm a very competitive, argumentative person, and I don't like when somebody else gets the final word, but this this debate has showed me that everyone has a say, and not only you is allowed to have your points executed, you must be able to listen to others. And that's also a lot of problem in businesses. You need to be able to cooperate with people, understand where people are coming from.
It was a debate. It wasn't arguing, right? We weren't arguing. We weren't condescending. We weren't bashing one another. Going into this experience, do you think that looking at your debating skills altogether, you think that it would have improved with the participation that you gave? Yeah, you could take it.
Yes, I do think so. Throughout this experience, I wrote my speech myself along with help from my debate facilitator and the subject specialist, Mr. Bobby Andrews, and I can say that throughout this experience, my research skill has improved as well as my public speaking. So overall, it was a really good experience. Thank you.
Yeah?
And I would say, yes, my skill has improved, better on communication with others, and the encouragement and positivity in your mind, you have to. So yes, I would say it has definitely improved.
No, I really have to compliment you guys on your articulation. You articulate so well. I'm so very impressed. You know, I could definitely see that the chamber was impressed last week as well. It is a debate. And unexpected things happen. We do it live. It's not always planned or rushed and whatnot. Did you all encounter any challenges within that experience while at the horseshoe? And how did you deal with that?
Well, for me, as a performer, I was rather surprised because I was literally sitting there having an anxiety attack. My hands were shaking, my legs were shaking, and I had to take multiple deep breaths and consume a lot of water to calm myself. And what caused that? It's because of the amount of expectations, because I always do well in everything I do. It caused me to go into a condition where I overthink and wonder, what if I mess up? What if? And I was to take control of that and get back the grip. And
excellent.
What helped me to recover from that attack was the voices from my friends always saying, Emil, stop overthinking, you could do this. You're born to do this, you're born to advocate, a matter of fact. So that's how I overcame that experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in my case, it would be for me not thinking that I did well on my speech because I didn't really get to finish it properly or to put it forward properly because the competition was very hot and the opposition was they were putting it forward very well and though the others on the team did well, I didn't. For me personally, I find that I didn't do as good as the others, so it was a problem for me personally, and I think that I didn't represent my school as well as I wanted to. But when I went home, I got messages from my teachers, and they said that for the first time it was good, and so it helped me feel a lot better about myself about that.
Yeah, well, I think you're heavily critical on yourself because for the first time itself, at least you didn't walk away from the horseshoe. You were still facing it. So it takes, as you could see, it takes a lot of courage, right? So on that note, let me just ask, looking back on the whole entire debate, you all think that there was anything that you would have done differently, whether from the preparation or even the presentation itself, looking back at it now?
When I went back and reflected on the debate, I realized that I should have limited my outspokenness and do as I was supposed to do because I was supposed to present my speech, right? But because of my outspokenness, most of my speech was not presented because I chose to be outspoken to answer back the person in a direction they was going. It wasn't correct. And I said, yes, I'm going to correct you. So I realized that I need to put my outspokenness to a minimal, to a certain point, and realize when to stop and when to go. Right. So that is what I get from
The
that
balance of effective
experience.
communication, eh?
All right. So for me, one of the biggest issues was time. I realized one thing I would have done differently was I would have definitely made my speech shorter. I had 3 pages, front to back, to say. And so I didn't get a chance to say everything that I wanted to. And so I should have definitely cut that down and focus on the main points. And so that's what I wanted to do differently.
So thinking about the future now, because we'll have other debates and you all would have been running that relay, so there's a next batch to come. And you all are youngsters, the future is yours. What are the topics that you think is important to you that you would like to see presented or tabled at the next youth debate, Tobago Day Youth Debate?
So I think for maybe even next year, we can start talking about autonomy, right? Because it is an important matter that needs to be discussed. And in terms of the national budget allocations, that also is an issue that will stunt Tobago from growing and developing as an island. So we need to start having discussions on that. I don't know if my colleagues agree with me. I think that's a really, yes, definitely. So if anyone else has a topic, yeah.
Right. What I think I would like to see next year would be more advocating on the history of Tobago. Like in the debate, you saw many old-time sayings come back to life. And I found that very interesting because most people didn't understand after the debate what those sayings were. When, you would hear a grandparent saying, but you don't actually know what it means. So one thing that I would like to see spoken about in a debate next year would be history. Like, when you think about history now, you just see people on the phones and the tablet and stuff, TikTok dances, everything, you're just thinking about America because it's like a acculturation. We just assimilating to the stuff that America doing. I like my country, I like my village and stuff, and I want to see more of my history as a proud Tobagonian being displayed in the country among the younger folks.
Oh, wow,
so that's
wow.
one thing that I would like to see.
Yeah, y'all are giving me goosebumps under this blazer, Even though it's cold, I'm getting goosebumps still, yeah? I really love this balanced and level discussion. So let me ask you guys. I mean, with this whole debate, I'm very impressed with you all. I'm impressed with your comportment, with your articulation, with your research, the way that your maturity. How old are you? 50. I think we need to check some of your ID cards because I think you all are older than what you're saying. All right? So with this whole experience, I mean, getting your feet wet within this debate, has it really sparked an interest for any one of you to get into public life, whether it be minister, secretary, prime minister, president, ambassador, anything like that?
Yes, this debate has sparked a deeper interest in me. I would like to join a party and further be drafted for the constituency of either Mason Hall, Mariah, or Signal Hill, Tobago, and further run for Tobago East.
Oh, that was her plug. I hope somebody picked that up.
I would sadly have to say no.
Why sadly?
Because, yes, it's fun and I enjoy doing this, but there's a deeper side to all of this. If we go to an actual debate and we're not behind the cameras or in the pew and we're there with the prime ministers and everyone who works in the horseshoe, we would understand it's not just you go up there, have a speech, make a point, everything is set out. It's not like that. There's more depth and you have to pay attention to that. So it's not all kicks and giggles and enjoying yourself.
Okay.
For me, I never really liked it politics and was never interested in politics at all. But when I came into this room chamber and I saw everybody's personalities, it was very fun, interesting. It sparked a very deep interest in me for debating. And I really want to come back here and do this again with all of these fun personalities because it was really fun debating with them.
Great. That's so nice. And folks, you're not seeing double. We do have a wonderful twin inside here. Yes?
I would say that, yes, it did spark a very deep light into me. I don't really, it didn't spark enough, though, for me to change my career path because I think it kind of have an entangle because I want to go into psychology.
Okay.
So I like to read people's minds and stuff like that. But it also kind of ties in with this because we have to learn about our people and read their minds as well, what they need, what they want, how can we provide for them. So it sparked a little in me, but more as a hobby than as me becoming that profession.
Tobago has a lot of different sectors and interests that can be more promoted and interested. For me personally, if I was to get into politics, I would want to be like an ambassador to promote that type of a different tapestry that Tobago has, because performing arts, education, we have all sorts of information and different aspects of Tobago that's not really highlighted. So I would like to promote that.
Although I really enjoyed the experience and it was very fun, I have to say no, I wouldn't want to go into politics.
That's it. Blunt, straight to the point. So my good friend from Light and Life.
Yes. For me, yes, I would like to go into politics, but as a fellow member has already stated, politics is not having a speech, going up there and just saying something. It means actually helping others and making a difference in the world. Because for me, if I'm ever going into politics, I want to go into things that, yes, we have policies for, like mental health, bullying, violence, but when you actually hear about these things, you hear all of these policies already in place, but yet you go out in the world and you actually see nothing has changed. So I actually want to make a change and actually let there show to be a difference in the world if I'm actually going to politics.
Oh, thank you all so very much. Let me just say sincerely, I want to thank you all for this wonderful little discussion that we had here and for inspiring me in my way, seeing you all, hearing you articulate. I just want to wish you guys that you continue to do whatever you do with purpose and make sure that you don't ever stray from your conviction of doing it with purpose. As you did last Thursday, you all are young, bright minds. You all obviously have it quite together. And according to my good friend there, I would like to see you all do it together as well. So, you know, when there's an African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, right? And even though you may not always agree, we still be respectful, represent that, and that honesty will still pave the way for healthy progress. So thank you guys so very much. I wish you all the best. And I know that I'll be seeing you in many, many huge places. So to those in studio, I can't say anymore. They said it all right? So back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And of course, congratulations to all the students. A job well done. And I love how they are very, very impassioned and they're able to, you know, be very mature in their thinking about what is expected if they were to enter a field of politics. I found that to stand out a lot. I love the fact that they understood the importance of the research aspect of things and the difference between researching it, preparing it, and when you reach on the platform to deliver
yeah.
the difference as well.
That the delivery, particularly, one of the things that has been resonating with me through the entire conversation would have been house statistics. House statistics. And that's something that's so important for
Don't
Trinidad and
just come and
Tobago.
talk about your feelings. This is actual things that we're debating. I particularly appreciate that there were some that realized it's just not for them, but they understood the value of the conversation itself. Even the ones who said altogether that we need to have more history embedded in it, they are learning, and that is what we hope you do with us here on the Now Morning Show. We've got more information for you when we return after this break.